I think that we are live on our first YouTube. I'm excited. This is great. Look, you can see my nails. You can see the face. We've got it going on. Perfect. I'm glad you guys found me. Hello, Kayla with a C. Oh, I love your spelling. We're like same, but not. This is great. Okay. Well, I guess we'll get into it. Okay. Welcome to our Wednesday night live dip manicure here on YouTube. I'm very excited to be on YouTube. We've got, I think, a much better layout. We can see the face. We can see the nails. It's going to be great. Ooh, provided I do not lose everything. So getting into this evening, I am going to do just a simple one color manicure. I knew that we would have some hiccups with getting used to this new live setup. So I figured let's just keep that simple so that in case you run into any tech issues, I can hopefully solve it as we go, you know, without the stress of doing anything too crazy on our manicure. So without further ado, this is tonight's manicure. It is just a very simple one color. Like I said, one of my very favorite spring colors from Rebel Nail. It's like a little periwinkle blue, and what I love about it is the glitter flakes. How cute are those glitter flakes? You know what I mean? I love them. I love them. I love them. So the color that we're going to be using tonight is, of course, Fairy by Rebel Nail. It is this absolutely gorgeous flaky glitter. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So it's going to be great. Also, because it's a flake, it goes on so freaking easy, which I love. So it's going to be great. And then we've also got our dip liquids that I'm going to be using tonight, Cara Sky. Now, one of the best parts about doing this on YouTube is everything is shared in the description, so we don't have to keep like repeating ourselves in the chat, hopefully too often. So I'm very excited about that. Hello, my wonderful love is here. Hi, Dylan. Hopefully I made you proud. I did my best to try to get all this set up by myself. So also, I can't figure out how I see like who's in here other than the chat. So if you are hanging out, please say hello. Yeah, because I don't really know how this works yet. So anyways, let's get into it. I'm going to walk through all the steps. Please feel free to ask questions in the chat room as we go. If I'm not answering them, then I'm sure there is somebody else who would be happy to dive in and answer for us. So let's get started. So for those of you who know, I like to follow what is called the TikTok application method, which is we're going to start with a full dip of each nail. Then we're going to do a half dip, move up to a 3/4 dip, and then another full dip. The reason that we do this is to build a nice apex on the nail. This is going to add strength. It's going to help our manicure last longer, which of course we want because we don't want all that hard work to be for nothing. So let's get into it, shall we? Thank you, my love. I appreciate that. All right, so getting into it, let's get our dip powder ready. So like I said, we are using Fairy by Rebel Nail. Everything is shared in the description. It's not gonna get old yet. I love that. It's so easy. All right, so let's get started. So this first dip, like I said, is going to be on the entire nail. So we're gonna start the brush about halfway up, and then we're gonna push back, and we're gonna pull forward, and then we're going to swoop the sides like so. And then we are going to dip into the powder, tap off the excess, and then we're going to cheat a little bit with our trusty toothpick, and we are just going to trace that cuticle line area like so. And we got dip number 1. Let's continue. So we're going to go into dip number 2 on the second finger, and we're just going to complete this process. So starting the brush in the middle of the nail, pushing back, pulling forward, and then swooping those sides. And dipping, and that is all there is to this first layer. Now again, that pushback technique is going to be so key for not flooding the cuticle area and not getting any on the skin. And it looks like Debbie, you are here. You made it, my friend. I'm so excited. I was like so nervous that we were going to miss some of our usual. So I'm hoping everybody got the email that we switched over to YouTube. So let me know what you think of the new setup in the comments for sure. I'm pretty excited about it, I'm not gonna lie. So this seems way more convenient than the portrait mode in TikTok. I feel like I can like show you guys my nails a lot easier. So I'm pretty excited about it. All right, so again, starting that brush in the middle of the nail, pushing back, pulling forward, swooping those sides like so, and then dipping into the powder using our cheater toothpick method to clean up those cuticle lines. And then we're just going to keep on doing that for each nail. Also, Chelsea and Debbie, I'd love to know what you guys think of this setup. Is it okay getting on? Hopefully it's not too much trouble. Okay, perfect. I'm so glad, Debbie. That's awesome. I'm just hoping all of our friends find us. Like I said, I did send out an email to everybody letting them know where we were. So hopefully it's not lost. But yeah, this seems way easier. It's so much easier for me to control where my nails are in the screen so you guys can actually see. So personally, I am in love with this so far. And also because, like I said, I can link everything down in the description. So it's a lot easier to find out which products I'm using. Hello, Heather. Good. I'm glad you love it. This is great. Great. Perfect. And just like that, we did our first dip. You can tell how much of a color change that is, eh? Like if you look at this side compared to this side, it's so much darker when you get it all layered up and finished. So much darker. We'll definitely turn those notifications on, Debbie. I believe there's a little like bell symbol underneath somewhere that you can hit. And that way it'll send you notifications through YouTube directly, so you don't have to just rely on the emails. All right, now that we've added our first layer to each nail, we're gonna take our trusty toothbrush. The reason I like to use this is because it does a much better job of getting in all the little nitty-gritty areas and getting all that excess powder off. We wanna brush off that excess powder to make sure we don't contaminate our base liquid, and also to make sure that we get a nice smooth application. So, there we go. All right, and then for layer number 2, we are gonna go halfway up the nail. Again, the reason we do this is to build that apex on the nail, to add strength. So we are going to do that now. We're gonna start the brush just below the halfway point. Then we're gonna push back to half, pull forward, and paint that bottom half of the nail. And on this layer, I do like to cap the edges to help avoid any nasty chips from forming and ruining the manicure that we are working so hard on right now. So, perfect. I also feel like the angle of the camera is way better this way too. Like it just makes more sense. So much easier. All right. There we go. Little dip powder ASMR for our Wednesday evening. How was everybody's week so far? Hopefully good. Hopefully nothing crazy has happened. Been over here like trying to get all of my gardens ready to go for the spring. Definitely pushing it. It's still way too cold to put things in the ground, or at least most things, but I'm trying anyways. I'm gonna experiment and see how cold these cold living crops can do, so I can at least get started on my gardens. I think we were talking about gardens last week. We were also talking about sourdough. I don't know if there's any other sourdough people here, but I've also been like getting my sourdough game on this week. All right. Boo, boo, boo. And that's it, that's all. So now you can see that we've got our second layer done, halfway up the nail. For this next layer, we are now gonna move into going 3/4 of the way up the nail. Again, the reason being that we're trying to build that apex up. So I'm gonna get all the excess powder off by just taking my toothbrush and brushing it all off there. This color goes on so easy, and these flakes are so easy to work with. So if you are someone who is new, a flaky powder is great. Oh, Jana, you found me. I'm so happy. Hello, friend. This is great. I'm so excited to see some familiar faces popping up here on YouTube because I was really nervous I was going to lose all my friends. Moving over here. All right, guys, we are on dip number 3. So again, this time 3/4 of the way up the nail, starting that brush at the halfway mark, pushing to 3/4 and pulling forward, and then proceeding to paint the bottom 3/4 of the nail. And I do like to cap those edges on this layer as well, so I'm just going to run the brush very lightly over that edge. Like so. And then we'll just keep on trucking along, doing the same thing on each finger until we are all done. Perfect, perfect. Ba, ba, ba. The nice thing about a one-color manicure is they are so fast to complete, which is nice if you don't have a lot of time and you don't want to like mess around with a manicure for hours on end. Perfect. Do. And last one. Do. All right, look at that. 3 dips in, we are almost done. Now normally I would just do a 4th final layer doing the entire nail, but because this does have those flakes in it, I want to protect them. So I'm actually going to do a 5th layer of just a clear dip over this one. You don't have to encapsulate every single dip powder color that you do, but any that have like a glitter or something in it, sometimes buffing can ruin that really pretty shimmer. So to protect it, we're going to do the clear dip powder. So normally this would be my last layer, but today it is our 2nd last layer. So now that everything is dry, I'm going to go in again and just brush off all that excess powder, like so. Okay. All right, and then we're going to go in with that 4th layer. So starting the brush in the middle of the nail, pushing back to that cuticle area, pulling forward, and then we're going to swoop the sides like so. Also, friends, I have listed all the products that I'm using down in the description, so you can check them out there if you would like. And then we're just going to continue on with each finger like so. And because this is a full dip, I am using that toothbrush, or why do I keep calling it a toothbrush? My goodness. Okay. Using the toothpick just to scrape along that cuticle area to make sure that things are nice and clean. All right. Perfect, perfect. We are getting there, friends. Just a very easy one color manicure today. And one of my very favorite spring colors, of course. Thank you, Debbie. I agree. Fairy by Rebel Nail is one of my favorite spring colors. So today when I was like, you know what, we're going to switch over the platform, we're doing it, we're sticking to it, but I didn't want to do anything too crazy on my nails just in case we ran into any tech issues. So of all the colors to do a one color mani, it had to be Fairy. It had to be. What are you guys rocking on your nails for spring? I would love to know. Boop, 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 boop. All right. That is that. That is 4 full dips of Fairy. So like I said, normally I would stop here, but because this is a flaky glitter, I want to protect those flakes when I buff. So we're going to do one more layer of just a clear powder. This time I'm going to use Vivian by Rebel Nail, which is just their clear dip powder, so nothing fancy. But before I do that, I'm going to brush off my nails really well with the toothbrush to get off all that excess powder. Like so. Ooh, Debbie's rocking 2 different colors. What do you got? Jana, but we're always twinning. I do love a good Barbie pink. To be fair, I was rocking Rhea by Rebel Nail right before, or I guess as I got home, like my last couple weeks while we were away, because like there's nothing like a good bright Barbie-ish pink, you know? That's a great one for the weather that we're having, just to like try to like motivate the spring vibes. I like it. I like it. All right, so again, I'm going to do a layer of clear just because this is that gorgeous flaky dip powder and I do not want to buff any of those pretty flakes off. So I'm just going to protect them with the clear dip powder. You do not need to normally, sorry, you don't need to do this for every single color. But highly recommend it when it is something like this that you can potentially wreck during the buffing process. Ooh, Kayla's also rocking hot pink. Okay, so I'm just the one who missed the memo on the hot pink. Okay, noted. I should have done my hot pink now, so I could be like my friends. I get you. There we go. What'd you say you're rocking, Debbie? Blues and greens on one, hot pink and black with multiple colors of flakes that changes when hot. Wow, Debbie, you've got it all going on, but also with the hot pink. Okay, so it literally is just me. Okay. Got it. Next time you guys send out a hot pink memo, let me know. You know what I mean? I don't want to be left out of that. You know what else is fun about this live situation? Can you guys leave pictures of your manicures in the comments? Is that a thing? Maybe? Just figure that out, 'cause that would be nice. Perfect. That's it. That's all, my friends. So now we are going to brush off that excess. We are going to activate. We are going to buff it out. Get some top coat on these, and then that's going to be it. Really easy manicure. And so far, our YouTube stream seems to be going okay, which I'm really excited about. So, whew. We just got to get the rest of our crew over here onto YouTube, and then we'll be laughing. All right, so I'm just applying that activator for those of you who are new to dip powder. This is what you need to activate the dip powder. It's also why it does not require a UV light, because it's just the liquid that activates it. and cures everything. Yeah, Debbie, you win for like the best look, I think. Yours sounds amazing. Okay, let's let that cure. I love this. That looks so much better on the screen. I love that you guys can see more. It's so much easier. I'm obsessed. All right, so I'm going to use my e-file just to do around the cuticle area and get everything blended in. This is a little bit faster than doing it with the hand file, though if you do not have an e-file, do not fret. You can use a hand file. Highly recommend one of these curved ones though, because they are a lot easier for getting around the cuticle area without tearing your skin up. So oh my goodness, I want to see Frankie. How am I able to do that? I can kind of make him out, but I love it, Jana. That's awesome. All right. Ooh, let me turn this down a little bit. This sounds crazy. There we go. Okay. No, I think it's just emojis that we can add, which is very lame. All right, so I'm just going to go around the edges here and just blend in that cuticle area. Also, what I figured out I can do, guys, is I can actually schedule these lives ahead of time. So maybe what I will do is when I send out the replays, I'll include a link to the next week's live, and then hopefully that'll make it a little bit easier with notifications and whatnot as well. I hope. Alright, that is that, and then I will just buff everything out with the hand file to complete. So again, like I said, you do not need an e-file. You can just use a hand file. So if you want to get around the cuticle area, again, highly recommend one of these curved files. It just goes around like so until you blend in that cuticle area. Now to buff them out with the hand file, you're just going to go down the one side and buff them down the other side. And then I do all of my shaping prior to dipping my nails, so all I'm going to do at this point is just go along and sharpen everything up along the sides. Bum, 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 bum. That's fair, Debbie. They are like, you do have to be careful with them for sure. I mean, I pretty much just use mine for removal and then just for that little bit of blending the cuticles. Oh, you're right. My face is coming back, I promise. It's coming, it's coming. There we go. Ha. Hello. Same old tricks on a different platform. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, I am just going to do a couple things up close so that I can see what I'm doing. It's so much easier to shape your nails, again, when you look at them from like this kind of angle. And then I kind of like switch it up, you know, go back and forth, just to make sure everything looks good. We seem to be in a good place with this. Like I said, Fairy by Revel Nail, she goes on like a gem. Like a gem. We are pretty good. Pretty good. Okay. All right. There we go. So then once I finish all of my kind of buffing shaping situation with the curve file, I like to go in with just these little orange buffer blocks and then just smooth everything out. I'm back, Debbie, I'm back. Okay, there's just a couple spots that we're looking kind of weird. All right, I think we are good, my friends. So at this next step, I like to just get all of the dust out before we top coat. So I'm just gonna grab my little water. You can obviously do this at a sink if you're normal and doing this at home. And I'm just trying to get all the dust out so that I can apply top coat to a nice clean surface. Like so. Okay, and then I'm going to dry those real well. Oop, there we go. Aha. And now it's time to top coat, friends. We're doing it. We're doing it. We're almost through our first YouTube live stream. Debbie, honestly, it's like, part of it is like definitely how you put on the liquid, but then it can kind of depend on the base, the actual base itself. So Kiara Sky is what I'm using. It is a very thin liquid. If I were to do 5 with one of the thicker ones, it'd be a little bit more of a challenge. But definitely having a thinner base liquid helps. All right, guys, so to top coat, we are just going to add a layer of our activating liquid again. You do need to add this activating liquid in order for your top coat to cure. So make sure we get that on there. Ooh, Jana, yeah. What color? What color? I mean, Fairy by Rebel Nail looks good. I don't know. I'm in like the blues and greens right now because I did like that. I did eucalyptus last week, which was that soft pastel, which is great for spring. I don't know. Any like pastels I find right now because like, well, you're in Ontario as well. We're getting this like gloomy, kind of cold, kind of warm weather. So I find like the pastels are just really uplifting my mood. So I would recommend a pastel of some kind. And again, I'm feeling the pastel-y blues and greens at the moment. So maybe. Oh, right, Debbie, I forgot that you're using the low odor ones. The low odor ones are pretty thin, if I remember, because I did use the Sparkle & Co. low odor. Yeah, that's right. Maybe just making sure that you get it off the brush. I don't know what your technique is for that. Also, for those of you watching, I am doing my first layer of top coat, just doing 3 very quick strokes. The reason I do it this way is just to limit the contact time that the brush has with the nail to prevent our top coat from hardening. And then for the second one, I'm just going to go in with a much nicer layer, starting the brush in the middle of the nail, pushing back to that cuticle area, pulling forward, and then swooping the sides to get nice even coverage. And then on this layer 2, I am going to make sure I cap the edges. This is so, so important to make sure you don't get chips. Oh, you don't have one Revel. Wow. Okay. I'd say, yeah. I mean, any pastel. Let me know which one you end up using. I want to know. Debbie, I was going to show you something in a second here. Once I get my top coat on. I mean, getting the thin layers, number 1, is definitely using that pushback technique, which I feel like you probably already do. And then also just having the right amount of liquid on the brush. So I'll show you in 1 second here. All right, done and done. So there's the finished product. And then as far as like how I wipe the liquid, Debbie, if this helps at all, I just go up and then I do like front, side, side, and then I just use whatever's on the back. I find that helps me give a little bit more control over getting the thinner liquid. So I hope maybe that'll help a little bit. Hello, Tiffany. I'm doing great. How are you? You found me here. I'm so excited. All right, friends, that's it. That's all. We've done it. We did our first YouTube live dip manicure. I'm very excited. I definitely appreciate this camera setup a little bit more. I hope you guys like it. I'm hoping the chat function is okay as well. I mean, it's definitely going to take some getting used to, but you know, we're getting there. I guess I should sit pretty like this until this dries so you guys can actually see. So yeah, so the color I used today is Fairy by Rebel Nail. I did share it in the description. I do have my code there for Rebel as well if you wanted to get 20% off at Rebel. Other than that, that's it. I'm just so glad that we got through this first YouTube streaming experience with, I think, no hiccups. There was a really awkward part at the beginning because I didn't know if I was live or not. But short of that, this has been pretty easy peasy, so I'm very excited. Tiffany, yeah, unfortunately we're at the end, but I am going to be starting these same schedule, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesdays. So if you're not already on my email list, I highly recommend joining. I guess I should probably put that in my description as well, which I do not have. I will make note of that. Debbie, yeah, it could be that they're a little bit thicker of a liquid, so sometimes it's just trying to do your best, you know? Thank you, Debbie. I appreciate that. It's not as fun as yours sounds, though. My goodness. I feel so boring now, knowing that you've got like 2 different looks on each hand. Oh, goodness. All right, my friends. Well, it is very hot in front of these lights, so I think I need to call it at the moment. But again, thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for finding me over on the new platform. I really appreciate you guys joining and jumping in the comments and chit-chatting with me for a little bit. But yeah, I think YouTube is where we are here to stay. So definitely turn on the notifications on YouTube so that you know that when I'm live. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. That'd be cool. You know, I think we still do that here. And be sure to subscribe to YouTube if you're not already subscribed. So, Debbie, yes, it's always practice. It always comes down to practice. Yes, Jana, I have that 20% off for Revel Nail code in the description here. It's like Kayla20, RN Kayla20. So if you do want to check out Revel and save a little bit of money, that helps. Also, Revel Canada ships out of Ontario as well, just FYI. So it makes it for fairly fast shipping. Anywho, friends, all right, Tiffany, Debbie, Jana, thank you guys for joining me. I will hopefully see everybody next week right here on YouTube. I will send out emails with the exact links for these live streams. Thank you, Jana. Have a great week. So yeah, all right, friends. Well, this went swimmingly. I'm so excited. I hope everybody has a great rest of their night. I hope you have a great rest of your week. I hope your weekend is fabulous to you, and I will see you next Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.